Hey guys, welcome to Strongman Sunday. We're getting close to the last one of the year. Only a few more left.
Indeed. Indeed.
How is everyone this evening? Hope you've had a great weekend. Quiet one for Strongman in terms of competitions.
Yeah, quiet.
Obviously, Brian and Eddie had their arm wrestling match, which was good fun. I've seen a few comments already. You have some interesting news as well, Strongman related.
Yeah.
Next year. So we'll
a
get
tidbit.
Few little things that Auntie Liz finds out that hopefully
nosy.
because you're nosy. This is true. And obviously last night we got to go to the premiere of The Strong Woman,
A Strong
Woman, which was brilliant. Went down to, it was just outside Nottingham, wasn't it?
Yeah, went up to Nottingham.
And yeah, brilliant documentary about Chloe Brennan, Lucy Underdown, and Andrea Thompson. So hopefully that's going to be available for people to watch very, very soon. Really, really cool documentary, just showing the personal side of all three of those ladies. And I think that's cool because everyone looks at the top stars like they're robots sometimes, or forgets that they're human. And it really brings that human side across, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. So I'm laughing.
Why are you laughing?
Well, we went out for the premiere and it's a documentary. It's about 30?
Yeah, 30, 40 minutes.
Something like that. We spent the rest of the night getting hammered.
No. Liz spent the rest of the night getting hammered. I had a couple of drinks.
I didn't realise you weren't drinking.
I had a couple of
we
drinks.
Were all drunk.
Liz was very drunk.
Oh, God.
I think she still might be a little bit drunk.
Yeah, but never mind. I don't get out much.
You don't. You're enjoying yourself dancing away.
I don't need friends. No one would dance with me. I was up there on my own. I had some guy.
You're having a flush there.
I am having a hot flush. Oh, I am. I've been terrible all day. Yeah, I'm not well.
The alcohol.
It is. It's like trying to escape my system, but it's fine. I'm fine.
You're fine.
We can get through this. Yeah. Anyway, let's see who's in the chat with us. Andrew, arm wrestling special, please. Oh, Andrew. I was shocked by how well Eddie did when I had Brian 6, Eddie 0.
Eddie did really well. Really, really well. To the point he almost looked better. I mean, Brian is just so strong, but Eddie looked technically better. Yeah. He did. Yeah, it was a good match. Really entertaining.
Give the results for people that didn't watch it or don't know.
So the final score was 4-2 to Brian Shaw, but it was close. Like 4-2 almost sounds pretty comfortable, but it was a lot closer than people would expect. They and probably the most entertaining match of the night, to be fair. Yeah. And there was real tension between Eddie and Brian. They're both so competitive, and Eddie is just a specialist at getting into someone's head. Yeah. And I think it was working.
Someone out. Oh, it was working because Brian's so focused and serious, and you can see little flickers of Brian actually getting pissed up, like absolutely fine afterwards.
But it's funny because I've seen a lot of the arm wrestling community saying, "Oh, Brian's so friendly. I can't see him being, competitive." Obviously, I've competed with Brian, and I know how competitive he is, and I know how much he hates to lose.
Yeah, really,
so you could see that frustration coming out. And,
do you remember there was a video when him and Eddie gripped up? This was quite a while ago, and he got so sort of that he headbutted Eddie. It's definitely in him. He's not just a teddy bear, is he?
You don't become a champion like that just by being a teddy bear. There is a killer instinct in there for sure.
Absolutely.
But Eddie did fantastically well, improved way more than I think anyone expected in that time frame, which really you got to give a shout out to Neil Pickup, who was there training with him twice a week. Is just a mastermind when it comes to arm wrestling, and someone like I love talking to about arm wrestling because you're just picking his brain and learning constantly.
Yeah, every time we go to a Giants live now, there'll be a couple of hours where I'll just be on my own.
Hey, everyone. You don't need me.
Yeah, good job, really. At an arm wrestling event.
That's a Strongman event.
Cousin Fred also enjoyed it. Was expecting a slaughter. Why did Brian get fouled twice, causing him to lose?
There's a lot of rules in the setup of arm wrestling where you're not allowed to kind of load in terms of trying to create pressure before you start, which everyone does. It's just hiding it. And Eddie had been trained well on how to make the other guy look like they're doing things that they shouldn't. So it was just fouls that aren't allowed in arm wrestling. So there's a few different reasons you can get fouled out, but essentially you've got to get a fair start, and he was trying to get an advantageous start.
Thank you very much, Hedgehog, for gifting a membership, Cousin Fred for gifting 5 memberships, and one of them went to Rauno. What fun. Hello, Rauno. Show yourself in the chat. Hey, Rauno, you lurking here? He's always lurking.
Rauno deadlifted 400 the other day.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, prepared. It's not been officially announced yet, so I can't share the dates and specifics, but he is preparing for a big deadlift, obviously. He's
always preparing for a big
well, that's true. That's just Rauno.
To be fair, you can just go see Rauno anytime and he'll lift a big deadlift.
Yeah, absolutely. Eddie put on a great show, kind of like watching Devon. The hype for the match was brilliant. Neil and Devon trash talking was at another level.
It was really intense. I think it must have got so many eyes on arm wrestling, which was the goal of it, and really good. I mean, all of us, like I'll put myself included, I'm still so new to arm wrestling, I've got so much to learn, and it's a great sport. But hopefully Brian and Eddie stay involved as well, because it is fun, and I'd love to pull both of them if I got the chance. I'm sure loads of other people would like to pull them. I know Brian has crazy big goals and where he wants to get to with arm wrestling, but it's tough. There are levels to arm wrestling. There really are. Same like everything.
Yeah, of course.
You can't just walk in just because you're great at another sport and expect to dominate in a different one. It's totally different.
BMX with a strongman question. Arnold lineup is great. Is it true that Thomas Evans is recovering from bicep surgery? I have seen that. I don't know if that's the case, but speaking to Jan the other week, she was talking about some of her picks, and she said, obviously was super impressed with Thomas Evans at Rogue Invitational, but he's out now, like taking some time to recover his biceps. So I don't know if that means he had surgery, but he wasn't. Like, I saw a lot of people say they were disappointed that he'd been left off of the Arnold's invites. He wasn't left off. She did have that conversation with him. So, but yeah, injury aside, which stopped him sort of dead in his tracks on the Inverstone and then the Husafeld bag pickup, Thomas was amazing at the Rogue Invitational, probably the best we've seen him yet. So hopefully he can recover quickly in time for Worlds.
Yes, yeah.
What have we got? Was this one of the bigger arm wrestling pay-per-views? I imagine Brian and Eddie bought a lot of views.
I would expect so. I mean, if you look at the views online, just from the hype videos or the interviews and stuff like that, the numbers are very high. So I would imagine the pay-per-view was pretty good.
I wonder if Core Sports will release that information.
I doubt it.
We're not letting you know how much.
I paid for it and watched it this morning, but it was good. I know I normally watch all the big events.
Don't you? What have we got? People chatting amongst themselves.
Happy guys. Sunday, Dalton.
What does Loz think of Mitch planning for the Bahrain Squat Challenge mid-season?
Me and Mitch will talk. Well, I actually told him about this challenge last year, and it's a ridiculous challenge. I'm a massive fan of high rep squats, but that is stupid. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
it's basically a squat where you do 30 reps with the bar. 60 kilos, and then it's a 40 kilo jump up to 210 kilos, and then back down. And you only have 30 seconds rest on the way up and 20 seconds rest on the way down. It's a total of 200 reps. And you kind of look at this is a challenge. You think the people that are fit enough to do it aren't strong enough, and the ones that are strong enough aren't fit enough. If there is anyone in the world that has a chance, it is Mitch Hooper. His conditioning is crazy, but I like 20 rep squats. I think they're brilliant for strongman. I think they have great transition into strongman in terms of they're great for leg endurance. You think of all the strongman events, it's not very often we do something for a max rep in terms of leg strength. It's always moving with heavy weights or things for distance. So being strong and having good endurance in the legs is massively important. But that is insane. I mean, I was a good squatter for reps, and
never.
No, I wouldn't even attempt it. But it's $100,000 that they offer for anyone that can do it. So I can see why people are interested. I can see why Mitch is interested. But I spoke to Mitch the other day, and our focus right now is planning training for Arnold's and Worlds. If he wants to do something fun after then, that's fine. But until Worlds is done, I want, my goal is for him to focus on those 2 comps.
Yeah.
He's on vacation at the moment, and we're planning the build up to Arnold as soon as he's back. He's had a very short off season where we were focusing on sets of 10, and he added some bodybuilding type movements into training as well. But squats and deadlifts have all been like higher reps.
Is that you answering this question?
No.
Okay.
What's that question?
Well, this question is, has Mitch got time to peak for a max deadlift early 2025?
The goal for Mitch in terms of a max deadlift is the Deadlift World Championships. That's what we want to focus on. Early season is all about Arnold's and World's Strongest Man. That is our main focus. From talking to him, that's what he's told me. That's what I'm planning in terms of training for him. But Mitch will attempt side quests as well along the way. And a lot of what Mitch does is for content as well. He will put stuff out there that just generates discussion. And that's not to say he won't attempt it, but the main goal for us right now is winning the Arnolds and winning World's Strongest Man.
Yeah. How's the hangover, Liz? It's all right, actually, Mark. My eyes hurt. And that's it. My eyes.
Is that because you're looking at me?
No, they just hurt. Michael, thank you for the super chat. How better could Brian be with a coach like Neil? Are there any other coaches in the US you would recommend for Brian? It was a fun match.
There's loads of great arm wrestlers all around the world and good coaches and stuff like that. I would see Devon more as a mentor than a coach, someone that's happy to help. He's so knowledgeable, but I think Devon has his own unique way of arm wrestling, and I think Brian's got to find what works for him. I spoke to Neil, and Neil originally went in with a game plan, and then he was like, screw the game plan, let's just teach you to arm wrestle, which I think is the perfect thing to do at the level that both of them are at. Using myself as an example, I'm still in that phase of just learn to arm wrestle, learn to do all the basic things as well as possible. Then you can start getting really focused on training for specific opponents and tactics and stuff like that. But until you're pretty well-rounded, just get better at the basics. And you can see from watching Brian, the strength is tremendous, but he still looks very wooden and awkward in a lot of movements. Tremendous strength and tremendous genetics to be great at arm wrestling. But at the moment, he just needs to work at getting better at arm wrestling and not overthink the tactics for a match, because essentially they're still beginners.
It's like anything though, isn't it? It takes a really long time for something just to become second nature.
Yeah, you've got to practice. And the thing with Eddie and Brian, they don't need to get stronger.
No.
They're already 2 of the strongest men on the planet.
Connection, right?
Yeah, well, I was down arm wrestling club today, and it still feels like things aren't natural as I want them to be. I'm not connecting everything as well as I can. And you have sessions where, it feels good, and then the next session doesn't feel quite as good. And you arm wrestle someone different, and it feels slightly different.
Yeah.
And, I do a little bit of strength stuff for arm wrestling, but it's mainly using the strength I've already got and learning to get that connection better and the movement more fluid. So for all of us that come from the strongman area, getting into arm wrestling, we need to do a lot more arm wrestling than necessarily the strength side of things. I think Brian focuses more on the strength side of things, whereas Eddie and Neil focused a lot more table time.
Table time, yeah. Hedgehog asking about a strong woman. Does it show them doing their day jobs? It does. Yeah. It's really interesting, actually. Like, I didn't expect it. Well, I did kind of expect it to be emotional because the producer was handing out tissues.
It was really emotional, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was genuinely really nice, really well done as well. The director, he did a great job. Very nice.
Yeah.
And will it be streamable anywhere? It will. We're just not sure where yet. So as soon as we know, we will let you guys know, of course. Scott with the super chat. Thank you, Scott. Happy Sunday to everyone. Got my usual family stuff, so I can't really hang around. But we appreciate
you very much, Scott.
And enjoy your family time. Any news on Eddie's fight versus Marius?
From what I can gather from hearing what Eddie said, they're in talks to fight early next year, but just nothing's been signed contract-wise. I know Marius has contracts with a Polish promotion, so I guess working around that is probably the biggest issue right now.
Yeah. Afternoon, Monica. Hope you're well. Dalton with a super chat. Thank you, Dalton. So Liz hungover was still drunk. Do you know, I'm not convinced I am either. I think I'm okay.
You sure?
I had a bit of a headache in the car. Took some tablets. I think I'm all right.
Yeah.
Look at me.
She was a passenger princess all the way back.
God, I needed to be. I couldn't have driven. Like, if I'd have been breathalyzed, I'd be in jail right now. Yeah, no, that wouldn't have been good.
First time we've drank in ages. That's why I didn't have many. I knew
the last time we had a drink in Vegas the night after the competition. Do you remember those strawberry daiquiris?
Oh, yeah.
It cost like $150 for a round.
The less we think of that, the better.
But I can't remember the last time before that. It may have been, I've lost my voice a little. It may have been at Jan Todd's soiree after the Arnolds.
Yeah. Because
I always have a glass of wine with Jan because it would be bloody rude not to. She's like, you drink, don't you, Liz? I'm like, yep. No. But
you were having all sorts of fun yesterday.
Way too much fun. Oh, where are we? Ash with the members comment. Liz, I don't get out much. You're never at home. I know, but you know what I mean? I don't go out much. Like out.
We don't go out.
No. When was the last time we went out to a bar drinking and dancing?
I can't remember.
I genuinely can't remember. It's been years. Yeah. It has been years, hasn't it? Yeah, so I don't think you're Ash, but I do go out a lot.
Jeremy Parker wants to pull Brian or Eddie. Jeremy's a good arm wrestler. I think you'd kill them, to be honest, at the moment.
Travis thinks Brian got pissed off. Oh, he would have.
Genuinely.
He would have, yeah.
During the match, he was getting pissed off. Mm-hmm. Afterwards, all calmed down again. But yeah, during, he's a competitor. What can you say? Yeah. The man is one of the best competitors there is.
Cybernetic Strongman, you bring us back to reality and back to a good point. Yeah, so I heard from Lucas Hatton's channel that the Arnold Amateur is being turned into a Pro-Am qualifier for the Arnold Strongman Classic. If this is true, it sounds like a fantastic improvement to the qualification system. So we can confirm, because I checked with Jam, because we don't like to repeat things unless we're 100% sure that it's correct.
Yeah.
Going forward, so from this Arnold's 4th, the Open Men's and the Amateur Open Women's are both going to act as qualifying competitions for the following year's Pro Show.
Which is great.
Just the winner. But yeah, the top space will go to the Pro Show the following year. Yeah. So there is an official way in now. And also another fun thing that we learned, I'm trying to get some information about events. Obviously I can get the events, but they will be announced very, very soon. But there's going to be 6 events this year instead of 5.
Which is cool.
Is really cool. So 3 events on the Friday, 3 events on the Saturday, and then road record breakers on the Sunday. Because I was looking back at the history, because it has varied a little bit. But the last time we had
They've had just 4 before, haven't they?
The year Lallis won, it was only 4 events. But the last time we had 6 events was in 2020. And now that they've got like that whole strongman arena area, they're not sharing it with people. They've got that time and flexibility to be able to do an extra event, which I think it really switches things up for some of the athletes.
What do you think of the lineup for the Arnolds?
I love it. I love it. I'm so pleased.
I know there's a lot of like moaning online because there isn't this kind of qualifying route.
And I totally get it. I do understand, especially for the women. Mm-hmm. I really get it. It's been so unclear about what the women can do. But any woman who asks me, I'm like, go to road record breakers, because it's Steve and Jan that are choosing athletes. Literally put yourself right in front of them and do at least try something, you know. But now we have that official qualifying spot as well. I was pleased to see Jennifer Lyle added to the lineup, but I really like the men's lineup, because I was worried that some people would just be missed completely, like Austin Andrade. I've been saying for a long time, I think he's perfect for the Arnolds and will do really, really well there.
Yeah, he's built for you.
Yeah, so I'm glad he's not been overlooked. But talking to Jan, it's quite interesting. Her and Steve, they keep spreadsheets. I'm allowed to share this. Okay. They keep spreadsheets, and basically they're tracking people's results throughout the year. Who's beating who? So like, yeah, you might have won that, but who was in it? Do you know what I mean? You didn't beat anyone that is already on our list and on our radar. So they are really trying to keep on top of who's who. And that's harder to do in the female side because there's so few pro female shows. But
I think the women's side really sucks. Because it's very difficult to get an opportunity. Like Jackie just came second at World's Strongest Woman.
Yeah.
And she beat Jennifer.
Yeah.
You know,
invites had already been sent out.
I'm just kind of putting it out there. Like, I'm hoping she'll be looked at in the future for a bigger
100%,
event.
Yeah.
It is tough. It really is. And things need to improve. However, I don't think we should kind of take it out of the athletes that are already there.
I feel really bad for anyone who's invited when all of the comments say, what about so-and-so? What about so-and-so? If I was an invited athlete and all I saw was...
I think that's fine. It's fine to say what about so-and-so, but it's like you don't need to say, oh, this guy should be here instead of that guy.
No, exactly. And thankfully, we don't see that much of that, but we do sometimes see it, don't we? And it must really suck to be that athlete.
I mean, I will say this. I don't think you could add a man or a woman to that list that goes in and wins the comp.
No. The winner has not been left out.
No.
Like the winners are in those lineups, 100%.
And they are both good lineups as well.
Yeah. Is that Matto Jones? Must be. Look at that profile picture. Stone on the shoulder. We were with Matt last night. One of the most enjoyable arm wrestling matches I've ever watched. Eddie looked class.
He looked really good. Really good.
Mm-hmm. Eddie's natural on the table. Some people aren't. If Eddie slipped, he could have won. So what, for those that don't know, slipping would lead to it going to a strap most likely. And Eddie really had Brian in the strap.
Look at you. Look at you talking about arm wrestling. Almost knowing what you're on about.
Almost knowing what I'm on about. Yeah. But slipping is a skill in itself, isn't it?
Learning to slip. Yeah, definitely. A lot of us kind of just tend to like hold on.
Yeah, because it's a natural instinct. Yeah. I'd be good at slipping. Slipping Jimmy. We're doing nothing but. Brian was definitely scared to go inside. So many people lost money on arm bets when Eddie got the pin. LOL. Oh, arm wrestling channel.
Claymore. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're well.
Hey.
Hope you enjoyed watching the arm wrestling yesterday.
Here is Rauno. He is here.
Hey, buddy. Good deadlifting the other day, Mr. Rauno.
Beautiful deadlifting. Surprised by the Arnold's lineup, says Jane. Hardly anything to complain about, which is always nice, isn't it? I do feel like Rogue and the Arnolds are getting much better at having more relevant lineups than they have done in previous years.
Yeah,
I do think it's improving. Congratulations to all of your competitors at OSG.
Thank you very much. It was a good OSG.
Thank you. Eddie was brilliant, says Jeremy. He's got lots going on. I don't think he will commit to arm wrestling, says Ned Flanders. Podcast with Devon and Neil on Brian's channel was comical. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen that one. I've seen there's been so many podcasts and like things with the arm wrestling. I've watched loads of it, but I haven't watched everything.
No. And look, one of the Arnold's competitors is here. Hi, friends. Terrified and excited for the Arnold Classic. Body is feeling great, but the mind is still tired. So we'll start prepping next week.
Good stuff.
That is Nick. Yeah. His first time. Obviously, he qualified by winning the amateur Arnold's this year. Feels like a really long time ago, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Jeremy saying, I would be shocked if it wasn't the most sold out.
I agree. I think it has to be. Like,
yeah.
Just both of them have such huge followings.
They do.
And with it being as entertaining as it was, and I think just being king of the table for the first time in America as well.
Yeah.
It was, the American fans are great. I made Liz watch some of the arm wrestling earlier, and even you said the American fans are great.
Oh, American fans are great no matter the sport. Yeah. No, I like hanging out with the American fans. They're cool. Skinny Fast Strongman. Excited to be working with you, Loz. Can't wait to start training tomorrow.
Good man.
Very nice. Tim Wesner, one of your clients. Hey, Loz and Liz. I hope everyone's doing well.
Hey, Tim. Hope you're well, buddy.
Have you seen Brian look that mad before? Yes. I've seen Brian look so mad. What's the most mad you've seen Brian look?
The most angry I've seen him look is when he lost to Thor. Not Thor. Was it Thor? It was when he's lost to Zadrunas
in 2014.
Yes, that's the angriest I've seen him.
The angriest I've seen him was that same year. It wasn't on the podium, though. It was, to be fair, we were in a really dodgy part of LA. Where were we? Not Commerce. It was when you guys have been competing at the beach.
Yeah.
And
when we were in Venice Beach.
Yeah. And it was time to go back on the bus. And someone from World's Strongest Man wouldn't let the wives on the bus. They were like, we need to get athletes on first. If there's space, the wives can go on. Brian's like, I'm not leaving, because it was a girlfriend at the time. He's like, well, I'm not leaving her here because, there was a dead body over there, wasn't there? And there was all sorts going on. People
it wasn't a safe place.
Holding signs saying, punch me for $5 and stuff like this. And they were just like really adamant, no, she can't get on. And like Brian just flipped his lid. He's like, for fuck's sake. Okay, so yeah, we've seen Brian angry.
Oh, very angry. Yeah.
It's always like quite juicy when it happens. I'm with you, Liz. 20 reps ain't for me. No, you're doing 20 reps of anything. Nicole, thank you so much. Gifting 10 memberships. Very, very kind.
Thank you, Nicole.
What do you think it would take Thor or Tom Stoltman or anyone to beat Mitch? He's taken his off-season seriously, so I don't see how anyone can beat him in any of the big contests this year. It says Factory Stage.
Mitch is a professional athlete. He takes everything seriously. We are focused on bringing his best to competition. So in terms of training, it's been a lot more rep work in the off-season. He's wanted to try and improve his physical kind of structure, add more muscle, have some less fat. But he's not unbeatable. He is human. And the other guys are absolutely awesome. They're great athletes. Mitch, like, if he turns up and executes as well as he can, I think he's very hard to beat. But to do that time and time again is very difficult for any professional athlete. You know, it just shows how good he is that he can do it as many times as he does. Yeah. But Thor, Tom, plenty of others, they are still a threat. They're unbelievable, and they've all got events that they're really strong at. And the thing with strongman is events vary greatly from competition to competition. So Thor still needs to bring his pressing up. If the competition has 1 or 2 pressing events and that hasn't improved, I think he'll struggle. Tom, fit and healthy, is dangerous. Yeah. He really is.
So Malcolm asking, what made the Arnolds decide to do 6 events in 2020? I have the answer. So in previous years, they had used the main stage, which is also shared with quite a few other sports. So they were a lot more time restricted. 2020 was when they moved back into what's now called the Strongman Arena and had their own dedicated space. So they had the time to do 6. Arnold's didn't happen in 21. And then in 22 onwards, they started sharing that space with Strongman Corp and allowing them to put on events in that area in between their events. So they went back down to 5. But now that's not happening. Strongman Corp is out in other areas. So they've got that whole space for the whole weekend. There you go. Will you both be at the Arnold US in February? Yes, we will, Sandy. I had such bad FOMO during OSG. I booked our flights. So I'm booking. It's cheaper to book now as well.
We are we love the Arnolds. Yeah, we are 100% going.
Yes. Scotty Lays, thank you for the super chat. Loz, how do you think you would fare against Brian?
I think it'd be a good match. I do. Don't know is the answer. I don't know who would win, but I think it would be a good match for sure.
Liz, you seem to be enjoying training more and more. Do you think you might do another comp? I don't enjoy it. I've just routined myself. Like, I've made it part of my routine.
You enjoy the results.
Now. I'm enjoying the results. Yeah.
You enjoy feeling and looking better.
Yeah. I enjoyed that dress I wore yesterday.
I enjoyed that dress as well.
Wow. Yeah, no, I've just managed to make it part of my routine and drop all the excuses of why I can't do it. And yeah, once like you've done something for a little while and you see the results, the most devastating thing for me would be to like go backwards. So we're moving forwards.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chloe.
Chloe's in the chat. Hey, Chloe. So happy to see a few people excited about the documentary. Can't wait for people to see it.
And hopefully once it's out there, lots of people are going to be excited about it because it was really good.
Yeah, it was really nice.
We loved watching it. Yes. Absolutely.
Brian is too nice to trash talk, says Laura. Although he did headbutt it instead of trash talking him in training once. No, he could. Brian's very quick-witted as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
It will most likely be put on YouTube. Just confirming which channel it will be available on, says Chloe. There we go. Brian takes competition personally, expects a lot out of himself.
He's very professional. He always has been.
Was Chloe as drunk as Auntie Liz? Guys, the only ones that stayed out was us two, Andrea and Neil. Yeah. That was it, wasn't it? And Andrea can hold her alcohol way better than I can. I think I was the only drunk one. But
you were definitely the most drunk.
It's fine. Chloe was driving. Oh, yeah. Chloe drank a lot after OSG, her and Lucy had a good night out in Chicago. We heard all about that. So, where she was trying to keep up with Lucy.
Yeah.
Again, someone who can hold it really well. Arnold is shaping up to be a hell of a show. Can't wait, says Laura. 6 events seems potentially good for Pablo and Thor. Well, Pablo's not in the show. I think it's really good for Mateusz because
That
deadlift.
extra event helps him.
Deadlift is almost a dead cert. I'd be surprised if deadlift wasn't in there, especially with it being 6 events. But yeah, it gives him an opportunity to make up more points elsewhere. It's less painful, isn't it?
Do you reckon you could guess the events? I was trying to guess the events.
I could guess the events.
It'd be interesting to see what other people think as well. And like we genuinely, no one knows anything.
No.
But the Arnolds were pretty similar event. Like they very often have a deadlift.
Yeah.
Like one time they haven't had a deadlift.
I think there'll definitely be a deadlift. I think the timber carry.
I think the timber frame will be there, especially as they're doing 6 events.
Yeah.
There's going to be an overhead, probably axle or log. For sure, maybe 2 overheads. They often do 2 overheads. At the
they do.
If that's the case, I think it would be
bad for Thor.
Well, no, I think it would be a dumbbell and one of them. I don't think you'd have axle and log.
No, I think a dumbbell ladder maybe, or for reps, and some other type of ladder.
I'm just kind of thinking what they do.
I think there'll be some sort of stone. I think maybe like a trial by stone, like a stone lifting, moving, carrying variation.
I don't think they'll do the Dinny carry this year.
No, I don't think so either. I think it will be a stone that they
could potentially bring back the bail tote.
They could.
I don't think they will because there's been a lot of injuries with it.
Injuries,
it's not the most entertaining to watch, that's for sure.
It was only like 4 meters,
3.
isn't it?
3,
no, it's 4, I'm sure. Yeah. But still, 4 meters is nothing, isn't it? It's just
Maybe the stone to shoulder.
Yeah, possibly. Mateusz would be over the moon if the stone to shoulder was there.
Yeah.
One other person I wish was invited was Matt Ragg. Yeah, Matt had a really, really solid start to the year. He came 4th at the World's Strongest Man, didn't he? But I guess faded off a little bit towards the end. But maybe
Matt looks like he's training really hard.
Yeah.
So probably, sometimes missing a comp isn't a bad thing because it kind of motivates you to go and put the work in, and you have more time to put some off season.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like me and Mitch would have liked more time. And Bobby as well would like more off-season time, but both of them are feeling pretty good. And we've done no sort of crazy heavy lifts or anything. I never understand why guys go into the off-season like trying to PB on logs and deadlifts and stuff.
No,
it just doesn't make any sense to me. You want to be at your best when you compete, not in the off-season.
I know. Oh, Arnold. Toby is in. The Arnold lineup looks great. Very hyped for 2025 already with Brits and Arnolds. Almost forgotten about Christmas with these comps. And I think this is my problem this year, Toby. I've been so un-Christmassy. I begrudgingly put the tree today.
This is I'm never that fussed about Christmas, but you are Christmas mad normally.
Oh, yeah.
But this year, just not at all.
No, not at all. To the point where I'm almost getting annoyed at Christmas for being so in my face all the time. Like going to the shop the other day, I'm just looking at the Christmas jumpers like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I think it comes from a good place, though. I think I have a very fulfilling life. You do. And I just don't need Christmas. I don't have time for Christmas. I don't know.
Maybe.
Michael, thinking about traveling to World's Strongest Man, talk me into it. Wow, it would be easy to talk you into and out of that one, to be honest. World's Strongest Man is a bit of a special case because I can't say it's what are you looking at? Oh, it was 3 meters. Oh my God, you're such a nerd. How petty. Honestly, sorry, the bell tote was 3 meters. Honestly. Get a life. Talk him into going to Worlds.
There's a good chance we'll be there this year.
Yeah, strong chance.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's either going to make you go or make you not go.
Fuck it, then I won't.
World's Strongest Man is not my favourite comp to watch because it's very stop-start. I think there's better shows to go if you just want to go as an experience to watch. If you're going to make a holiday of it, then it's more worthwhile.
Yeah. Holiday in Sacramento.
Yeah, that's the only problem. It's not been in the best places.
Myrtle Beach would have been fine for a holiday. Yeah, not Sacramento. No offense, Sacramento.
No, I think that's fair. But I think there's better shows to watch in person than World's Strongest Man.
Almost all of them. I would say, to be honest.
Shaw Classic, Arnold, Rogue, all the Giants Lives.
Yeah. I think the most intimate fan experience would be the Magnus v Magnuson Classic.
Yeah. That would be very intimate.
Yeah. I don't mean
you'd be like,
you can't be like
to the
touching them and stuff.
But you probably would.
Well, you could. Yeah, they're right there. Yeah. Very intimate. There you go. Malcolm, I didn't watch all of OSG. What happened with Andrew Burton?
Wasn't his best performance. Andrew did amazing at America's Strongest Man. Then he had Magnus v Magnuson Classic, and then OSG was always going to be tough to do well at all three. Andrew's awesome. We are starting prep for Arnold, actually.
He's doing the amateur open.
Two of the areas that Andrew does need work on are his overhead and deadlift. That's something we've kind of discussed previous. And with two of those events in against so many good lifters, it was always going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's got events that he's unbelievable at. And I think he's a threat in many comps. This shows how strong OSG was. And I've said this already, but not just the top 10. The whole 50 guys that were in OSG were incredible. You've got 3 guys that have been to Worlds that didn't make the top 10. I mean, you know, everyone was good at different things. So I had a few athletes in there, like Jack Osborne won the log, and he ended up 17th overall, tied with a guy that's been at World's Strongest Man. There was different winners of every single event. You had to have that consistency, and you could throw in a different 5 events, and the whole competition could have shifted. You know, you could have had a completely different top 10. You could have had positions all over the place. That just shows how good the standard of OSG Opens was. And really, you know, for guys that didn't make the final, whether I coached them or not, you guys were awesome. You really were. The standard's so high. Learn from it, learn from the experience, and get back into training and work hard and be better for the next one.
I think Spencer actually really hit the nail on the head in his post that he did a day or two after, in his stories. He says something along the lines of, you know, the fact of the matter is, if I'd have turned up in my 2022 shape, which was the year he won it, he said, I still wouldn't have won. He said, this competition is only getting harder. It's only going to get more hard as these athletes keep coming through. And, you know, it's really legitimized as the pathway to pro strongman. So.
Absolutely.
How big are your hands, Loz? They look massive.
Reasonably big. They're not like...
Put it next to mine. Because I've got, well, now no one can see mine. A normal sized hand.
Like nothing compared to Mark Phoenix's
my hands are weird looking. It's like, my hand looks massive.
My hands.
I don't have big hands.
I think I've got like large hands, but not like ridiculously large hands.
Yeah. Do I have big hands?
No.
This might be the camera.
Maybe your nails.
Maybe.
I have a little weird thumb, so.
Yeah, Loz has a sad little thumb.
It kind of just bends back. I can't keep it straight, so I'm rubbish at thumb wars against Liz.
Yeah, don't even bother. What are we doing? Where are we? What are some of the strongman federations that are out there that someone can start off in? Maybe someone with potential, but a powerlifting total help.
Powerlifting is always a good background to have, but it's not the be all and end all. I do think powerlifting is good to focus on, just to build raw powerlifting, to focus on building up your strength in the core movements, if you like. The leg power, back power, pressing power is always going to be beneficial when it comes to strongman. I think some people jump into strongman a bit too soon without building some fundamental strength. In terms of federations, like...
There you go. Chloe just answered this quite well. If you're in the UK, check out Strength Register. In the US, have a look on Iron Podium. They're huge databases for competitions.
Iron Podium is really useful.
Yeah,
I use it with clients just to, they'll send me the whole, because they put every event on there and the details. It's really useful.
Last one, we would get to see you at King of the Table or East versus West.
Oh, I'd love an invite. If there ever was a chance, that would be amazing. I don't see myself as a top level arm wrestler. Obviously, I know there's the celebrity type matches, which is exactly what Eddie and Brian's was. And if an opportunity like that came along, great. But at the moment, I just want to keep improving, keep training, do some local competitions, and keep building up my level.
Look who's in the chat, James the Brick Wall.
That's a proper good arm wrestler.
Proper arm wrestler. Loz would dominate Brian in an arm wrestling match. Let's get it on. Although I beat James during the after pool. Did I not, James?
I am looking
What do you
forward to
mean,
training
yeah?
with James in a few weeks. Actually,
Yeah,
he's
that would
invited
be
me up,
nice.
so yeah, thank you, buddy. I'm looking forward to training with you. James is one of the top British arm wrestlers, and he would destroy Brian and Eddie and me and most other people.
And so well spoken. He's
Yeah.
like the posh arm wrestler.
The posh arm wrestler.
He is. Has Mitch shown interest in trying to get 6 World's Strongest Man titles, or is he just focused?
He's not.
on the
He's
moment?
not shown any interest in like 6. He just is focusing on the next couple of years at the moment, and really, this 2025 is our focus right now. We're not really thinking beyond that.
Yeah. Cam, how do you think Mitch would do in arm wrestling, given his strength and intelligence?
Mitch could do well at anything he wanted to put his mind to. He is that kind of person. Right now, he has no interest in arm wrestling.
He hates
arm wrestling. But Mitch is the kind of person that is annoyingly good at everything.
Yeah.
And if he was interested in it, then he would put the effort to get good at it. And I think a lot of top level athletes you can kind of put into that degree, to a degree.
Yeah.
But Mitch is one of those exceptionally good athletes that can adapt to most things.
Brian's power is containing all of that rage and saving it for competition. For anyone that messes with his wife, obviously. Both. I have a comp in June, and the log is 20 kilos above my 3-rep PB. Any advice on how to tackle it?
How much above your 1-rep max is it, or have you not kind of gone close to that? I mean, 20 kilos is a big jump, depending on many factors. How long you've been training for. What's your body weight? There's so many factors when it comes to certain events. Sometimes you just got to be brutally honest with people and say in that kind of frame time, you might not be able to get the weight time frame. But do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you are completely new to the sport, you're heavyweight, your progress is like really rapid, there's a good chance you might get it. If you've been doing it 5 years, you're at a restricted body weight, you kind of, there's a lot of factors, progress might be slower. So there's so many things without kind of seeing you lift and without knowing much else about you, it's impossible to answer that question. Like for someone like myself, I've been doing strongman over 20 years. I'm not just going to put 20 kilos onto my PB in a few months. Hell, I'd struggle.
Chance of me putting 20 kilos.
Yeah, no, absolutely, because you're so much newer to it. So if you are a newbie, maybe you will put 20 kilos on, no problem at all. There's a lot of maybe your technique's poor and needs a lot of work. You're responding real quickly to training. There's many factors that can adapt or affect the end result. But the more you've been training, the more you've kind of put on muscle, the better your technique is. The progress slows down dramatically.
Fucking hell,
I'm
still
tired.
Drunk.
No, I wasn't drunk at all. I am tired.
I
I kept saying, "Should we go home now?" And she's like, "No, I'm dancing away."
I was like, "Can't hear you." Matty, please, for the love of God, I hope they never bring back the overhead stone throw.
I agree with you.
And tossing.
I agree with Matty.
No, that was great.
No, it wasn't.
It's not going to come back. Unfortunately, I can confirm no more Stein and tossing for us.
Did you really like it? No.
If I didn't have to watch 20 athletes throw it 3 times each, I might have liked it.
Yeah.
Well, but the problem is, every throw looked exactly the same. From where I was stood, especially, I was like, wee. It was like without any overhead graphics or anything in person. It just looked like the same. It was inches away. Yeah. No. Nick saying stone to shoulder would be a good one for me too. Yes. Nick is very good.
He was awesome on that sandbag to shoulder last year at the
Arnold. Yeah. You'll have to try and make friends with Matesh and see if he'll give you a couple of tips about that tombstone. Oh, where are we now? Got to try and make friends with everyone at this point, to be fair.
Yeah.
Would love to see stone to shoulder at the Arnold, says Thor's Hammer. Will Lars dress up as Father Christmas this year? He is very jolly and has a twinkle in his eye. Already has a beard. We only did that during COVID, didn't we? All the Santas are back now. We don't have to bother. I'm fashionably late to the chat as always. Has the Giants Live TV schedule been released yet?
Yes, it has.
Leighton. I think it starts on the 21st. Is that Friday?
It's correct. Yeah, 21st it starts.
So For the USA fans who watched it months ago, finally we can start watching The World's Strongest Man.
Saturday, 21st of December, we have Britain's Strongest Man. Sunday, 22nd is Europe's Strongest Man. Monday, 23rd is the Strongman Classic. Monday, 24th of December is a Strongman Open. And then there's nothing on Christmas Day. And then the 26th of December is the World Tour Finals.
Which one was the Strongman Open? Is that Birmingham?
Yes.
Oh, so the Vegas show is not making its TV.
No.
That's a shame.
Mm.
With the deadlift, I guess no one broke a record. So, oh no, Lucy did. Main bit I'm looking forward to is I get Christmas bonus and I get to get a monster dumbbell. I've already spent the money on. Oh, how nice.
Awesome.
Little gift to yourself. Where are we? Thank you, Leighton, for gifting a membership. Kelly, hello. Just starting to get over pneumonia after 8 weeks. At least I didn't sleep through you guys this week. Ah, bless you. Glad you could join us, Kelly.
I'm glad you're feeling a bit better as well.
Changing gyms.
The Arnold was great to see live, says BMX.
Yeah. I enjoy watching it live as well.
Gandalf the Orange.
I met Mark Felix at Arnold UK. He took a pic with my wife and I shook his hand. Pretty much took up half my arm. Lovely guy though.
Mark's awesome.
Yeah, Mark does genuinely have massive hands. Ken McClelland as well.
Ken has got huge hands.
He's got really chunky hands too.
Yeah.
No VIP at Worlds this year. Yeah, I did see that, Jane. From what I could gather, like not everyone considered it worth it. So maybe they could just do a better job of sort of main admission. Claire Myler in the chat. Claire freaking Myler. Late joining
Claire,
tonight.
doing well?
Fell asleep on the sofa after deadlifts. Loving the t-shirt, Liz. Thank you. It's quite funny. Obviously, I don't know if people can see, but it says Lucky FC UK. And Alexa saw it and she was like, Mummy, naughty. And I was like, no, FC UK. I was like, French Connection UK. And she's like, what's that? I said, it's a brand. She goes, oh. I said, what did you think it said, Alexa? She goes, the B word. I was like, what?
She made me laugh earlier today.
Why? What'd she do?
When she told you.
Oh, God. She said to me randomly, Mummy, what did she say?
She says, when I'm older, I won't be mean to you like you are to Nanny.
I am not mean to my mother. I give my mum a bit of shit, but I give everyone I care about a bit of shit. If I'm nothing but nice to you, be worried. It's a term of endearment.
Someone you're mean to there, Lungu?
I'm not mean to Alex.
No.
To be fair, I'm meaner to Jack.
Yeah, you are meaner to Jack. But to be fair, Jack's mean to Alex, so Jack deserves
it. Yeah. And Jack comes around here every week.
Yeah.
Getting in my way.
He'll be here tomorrow.
Bloody hell. So I'm late to the party. Hey, everyone. Hello, Jack.
That's
no.
Alex.
Would Lallis be a good next match for Brian?
No, Lallis will kill him.
No. Like you say, it's levels, isn't it?
Yeah. Lallis is too good.
Who do you think would be? It's hard, isn't it? Because
high profile.
It
would need to be someone like myself, I guess. Someone that's not a good arm wrestler.
Yeah, spit it out, Lozzie.
A good arm wrestler is still too good.
Yeah.
I've seen people saying Sarachev, who's the former powerlifting world record holder. I think he's too good.
Oh, okay.
At the moment, people saying Larry Wheels. I think Larry Wheels is too good still at the moment. It's difficult. Some people have said there's loads of names kind of thrown about, but it wouldn't be maybe in a few years.
Yeah,
that's different. Then he's going to be at a great level, but still, if he's jumping into a match in the next 3 to 6 months, it still doesn't want to be like a top level. I mean, someone like James, who was on earlier, it's about 95 kilos, James.
Oh, it'd still kill him.
James will destroy him.
Yeah. James is genuinely one of the top guys.
Yeah, and then that looks bad.
Yeah, of course it does. But for people that don't understand,
like if you're just a strongman fan, or just like if you're kind of just a general strength fan, and you see us big guys, and I mean Brian's massive. Brian is a massive, massive man, and he's against another strongman or against a normal man. Yes, he's going to be great, but against a well-trained, proper arm wrestler that's been doing this for years, he's going to get his ass kicked still
Yeah.
at the moment. Give him time to learn how to arm wrestle properly. And yes, Brian can be extremely good, but he's still got a lot of work to do.
Toby, the stone toss is one of those events I'd love to try, but wasn't asked to watch. Yeah, it went on for a bit. It was so funny. I just had a flashback of Mitch because I was out back with him. He comes over like just before he's about to go, and he's got a baseball cap on. And he's put like, I don't know, padding inside it to try and protect his little head. I was like, what have you got in that hat? Socks or something? So it gave him this weird alien head. Oh, it was, yeah. It was a bit shit, really, wasn't it? Oh, maybe if they all just went out and did it once, yeah, no second, third attempt.
I think, like Toby said, there's certain events that are fun to try, but not necessarily good strongman events. And I put the Dinny Stones in there, and I love the Dinny Stones. I like doing them as a separate event, but I don't think they're a great strongman competition event.
No. Where are we? I think as I was keeping up with OSG for work, I got comp burnout. Yeah, I got burnt out last weekend as well.
It's a long competition, OSG, isn't it?
Bloody nightmare. Hey, Josh is in the house. We know how to make it to Columbus, Arnold. Is there any information on how to make it to the Arnold UK? Josh, is there any information at all about the Arnold UK?
Honestly, mate, we don't know anything about the Arnold UK at the moment.
Speaking to Mitch, he's adamant that it's happening. He's like, yeah, it's happening.
I mean,
but I've not seen anything.
Maybe we hear something soon, but we'd already heard something about this time for last year's.
I would have to go back and check, but it does seem like they're leaving it. Because I like one of my only criticisms last year was the lack of marketing for the UK show.
Yeah,
and I thought if they're going to do it again, like as long as they get in there early enough with information
Is there
and
anything
really push
online about it?
No, nothing. I'm sure. But if we find out, you will be one of the first to know, Josh. Kids are so innocent.
I mean, it's scheduled. No, that's the
That's the Ohio show. Yeah. It's not Dimitar.
That was
Dimitar, is it?
There's nothing online about it.
No, there's nothing anywhere.
It's all old.
Loz and Liz. Is Bobby carrying an injury? Is he healthy? And where he needs to improve to win some of the big shows?
Bobby is finally starting to get pretty injury-free right now. Bobby needs to improve in a couple of areas. He needs a bit of luck with events as well to win shows. The Arnold is the best show for Bobby. If we want Bobby to do well at the Arnolds, we need to avoid events like the Wheel of Pain. The frame needs to get better. His grip needs to get stronger. It's an area we need to keep working on. Bobby's really good at log, deadlift. He's actually not bad at stone to shoulder. No. Stone to shoulder is a much better event for Bobby than, say, Atlas stones.
Yeah.
So it's event dependent, like it is for a lot of athletes. This isn't me putting Bobby down, but he for most top level athletes, it does depend on events to see how they'll do. And that's when I say, like look at OSG, chuck the events into different 6 events, 5 events, or 7 events it was at OSG. Yeah. You'll have different winners and different people placing in different places. That's very common with strongman. Bobby's world class at certain things, and there's other events that he needs to improve on. He has a few. I train 3 disabled guys, and I count Bobby as my 4th.
Bobby basically is, yeah.
Because he does have a few limitations
yeah.
Based off surgery that he's had in the past. That it's certain things he just can't do, the same as other people. So we have to work around things.
Roundhouse mine disabled, actually. But Bobby has a great track record at the Arnolds.
The Arnolds is where we really try and bring Bobby in at his best. And he's feeling good. He's training really hard. I'm really happy with the work Bobby's putting in right now. He's keeping, head down, working hard, and he'll be ready for the Arnolds.
So long as no one suggests Hathor for arm wrestling, we just got him back in strongman.
Yeah, he needs to focus on strongman right now. Yeah. For us strongmen, arm wrestling is post-career.
This is oddly specific question. Have Loz and Liz ever snorkeled, perhaps in Hurghada? Yeah, we have.
Yes.
You did with me.
Yes, but I've done it quite a lot. And scuba dived.
But in Hurghada?
Yeah. It's a bit weird.
Yeah, you did snorkel with me. Do you remember? I nearly drowned.
Well, I snorkeled. You kind of just got saved by the guy.
By a hippie. who then made me go around in like a rubber ring. I was so
To be fair, we were out in
embarrassed.
the sea and it was pretty choppy. We went out on a boat.
It was
So
really
we were
choppy.
It wasn't like you're snorkeling around the
Correct.
shallow area.
Well, do you know what there weren't many people on the boat, and he offered like the older couples a life vest.
jacket.
He didn't offer me one, and like I could swim, so I didn't even think to ask. I didn't know how far we were going to swim, and it would be against the current. I weighed 54 kilos, so I was just gone. And yeah, after a while, I was like, I'm going to die out here. And then suddenly you were like behind me, and the music started playing. I Need a Hero and all that
Indeed.
shit.
Mungo is making the transition to 105s.
Yeah, how exciting.
Yeah, we're excited for this.
I'm looking forward to seeing skinny Alex.
Not skinny.
Oh, sorry, not skinny.
Lean.
Sorry.
Powerful. Athletic.
Yes.
Not skinny.
Not skinny.
Don't call a strong man skinny.
I'm warped. It's fine. I have a very strange idea of Loz's fault. Oh, Sandy, rumours is Arnold UK will be in September. That would be interesting, actually, if they move it to a different time of year.
Actually, I just found something before we...
Oh, did you?
Yeah. March 14th till March 16th.
Oh.
But I don't know.
We'll find out. Yeah. So again, that would be that same slot in between the Arnold USA and Europe's Strongest Man. Rasmus, thank you for the super chat. Hello, Lizzie Lozzie. I've focused on deadlifts and squats for a long time now. I want to switch to pressing power. How much deadlift and squats should be kept in the program? Got 4 or 5 days a week to train.
I would certainly deadlift and squat once a week still. I like to keep squats and deadlifts in training for most people. There are exceptions based off, certain people's abilities. But unless there's a comp prep, I'd keep squats and deadlifts into training year round. If you're an all-round strength athlete, or if you're an arm wrestler, completely different. You don't have to, or various different sports. But for strength sports, I would always focus on those two. Squats, I would focus more on for repetitions. Deadlifts, I would have times just focusing on 1 rep max. I'd have times focusing on repetition work and endurance. And then based off your strengths and weaknesses, we might work on different things in the off season. For instance, if you're good off the floor, but weaker at lockout, tend to need to improve, either technically improve your starting position, or normally hamstrings and glutes need to get stronger and lower back strength. If you're weaker off the floor, normally quad power needs to get better. Might do things like deficit deadlifts, speed deadlifts, leg press, things like that are all going to help that power off the floor. But yeah, I'd certainly keep them in, because that leg power is going to help your pressing as well.
Mohammed asking if there are any international strongman competitions coming to Australia. Not that we know.
I don't know of any big
unfortunately.
international ones right now. I mean, there's some great athletes in Australia that are coming out of there, and we did have some big comps. I mean, they did the Arnolds there for a few years, and then they did that competition that we went to.
Australia's Strongest International. The hardest thing is it's so expensive to bring people over to Australia, because the majority are traveling from really, really far away.
Yeah.
And it's a cost issue. Yeah, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
What are you reading?
I'm just seeing what the comments are.
Okay.
So would Loz agree that Rob Kearney, although he carried the weight well enough,
I think he means blown up lightweight. He really should have dieted down to compete in a lower weight class.
I think Rob Kearney's best class would have been 105, but he was still a world-class open-level athlete. Sometimes when you look at someone's structure, they are suited to different weight classes. Why I've suggested that Alex does 105s. And I think it's fair to say, when you look at his height and his structure, Rob probably could have made 105.
Oh yeah.
Probably, walk around at 115 and cut down to 105.
What did he used to compete in? He started at 105.
He used to do 105s, yeah. But also, Rob worked up. So sometimes, and back then, the 105s weren't what they are now. The weight classes are becoming bigger. Yeah. And I think there's more opportunities now for people looking at different weight classes.
There was no OSG or anything like that. So you could reach the top there and still maybe most people don't even know who you are.
Whereas, and a lot of the smaller guys, they do have events that they can excel at, but it's hard for them to really beat the top guys all round. And Rob was, I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but Rob had certain events he was exceptional at, log, really good at yoke, a couple of other events, but he never made the final of Worlds. And although he did well in certain comps, if he got those 4 or 5 events that he's really good at, he'd go to another comp and look pretty average. Whereas probably at 105, he would have just been,
he would have been amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Cousin Fred, thank you for the super chat. Since she is here tonight, shout out to the true beast, Claire Minor. At her young age, she is smashing it. Eddie needs to give up the nickname for her. Claire is an incredible person. She's insane, obviously. But that's part of her charm, isn't it? It's why we love her.
Indeed.
Ryan, thank you for the super chat. Out of these 3, what year was the best year in Strongman? Oh, who had the best year in Strongman? 2024 Hooper, 2018
That's a
Shaw,
hard question.
or 2015 Shaw?
I mean, if you ask Mitch Hooper, he'll say Mitch Hooper. If you ask Thor, he'll say Thor. And Brian will just say he was the best, regardless. Brian, I'll tell you what, Brian would say that's a really good question.
I think realistically, Mitch won the most competitions this year. Thor.
I don't like answering questions like this because it's so hard to answer because it's a different generation.
Yeah, they're competing against beating different guys, and like even though it's not a huge time difference, it's still a different era in terms of the competition that they're up against. So you can never make a direct comparison, can you?
No, I mean I've got to say I think Thor in 2018 was unbelievable, but what Mitch did this year is unbelievable. What Shaw has done throughout his career, as Adronis has done throughout his career, it's fun to talk about, I guess. But everyone's going to have a different opinion. It's 6 and 2 threes, as Neil said yesterday.
I still don't understand what it means. Ha 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 ha. Loz being overly defensive about the word skinny.
Hey, if you're a proper strongman, you will be defensive about the word skinny. As a man, you don't want to be referred to as skinny. Well, not a strong man anyway.
Jen's saying, did you see my super chat? Loz, can you look for Jen's super chat? There's not one showing up.
I didn't see one. I'll have a look.
Oh, sorry,
Jen
we did
Parker.
miss it. There we go. What about an arm wrestling against Mike Tyson, Loz?
Wow. I don't know if Mike Tyson does arm wrestling or not, but yeah.
I'm sure he doesn't.
even if he does or doesn't, yes, I'm up for that. 100%. Mike Tyson is a legend. You know, Mike Tyson tweeted about me winning Europe's Strongest Man.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Which was pretty damn cool.
He knows you exist.
Yeah.
Or he knew.
Yeah. He probably doesn't anymore.
No, you'd have forgotten that.
Yeah.
Nick Canby's in the same boat as Rob Kearney. You look at him and realise he's carrying more weight than his structure naturally is.
Yeah, and I think you start seeing kind of health issues start happening to some of the athletes when they just try and keep forcing it. There are certain people out there that are just naturally bigger framed, and it's easier for them to hold more body weight.
Yeah. Who is the best trash talker in Strongman?
Eddie.
Yeah.
Eddie, without question.
Yeah, and it's probably not. Evan is also very good, I think.
Evan's good.
I enjoy Evan.
I think Eddie's better.
Yeah, Eddie's. No, I like. No, I don't know. Eddie swears a lot more.
He does.
So it makes it harder for all audiences to enjoy that.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
Whereas Evan, he resorts to sort of fat jokes and stuff, but he's got so many ways of telling them. I can't remember. We were at Clash on the Coast, and it was as Nico, isn't it? You and Evan, and he's just, and Maxime, he's giving you guys so much shit. He's just like, they're rolling out of him, and I love it.
Yeah, he's relentless.
I'm never on the receiving end though, so it's easier for me to enjoy. Evan is funnier. I think Evan's funny.
I really enjoyed Evan on the commentary. I thought it was very good.
You're calling for Evan. Yeah. I thought he was great. You won Europe's Loz. I bet Thor wasn't competing that year. Joke.
Definitely not.
No. Eddie has a potty mouth.
I've seen a few comments complaining about how much he swears, but
yeah.
I guess you've just got to be used to that with him.
Robert Obers can also shit talk. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he can shit talk. Don't know who. Do you know who was great? Jean-Paul Sigmarsson.
Jean-Paul was awesome.
He was a great talker, wasn't he?
He was.
I guess
Sven Carlson was pretty good.
Yeah. We go through the
It's a bit different
It
with
is.
strongman than like fighting, I guess.
Well, it's not a combat sport, is
No.
it? So it is different, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess Evan trash talks about swearing because he comes from wrestling, which is enjoyed by many kids. Yeah, maybe. Lots on axle cleans. Do you rate the belt clean and quick pop like a lot of the weight class guys do, or do you think the belly clean is better for a novice lightweight?
Actually, if you're just learning to clean an axle, I would do a belt clean. Even if you've got a belly, just learn to do it because it will teach you to be explosive and create power through triple extension, and then you can adapt to doing it on your belly. But it's not a bad way to train it. Actually, just kind of putting on the belt, it stops that slipping. Sometimes a belt with a towel in there will stop the pinching on the stomach. It can work pretty well. And obviously, if you are a weight restricted athlete, most competitions allow it. If you're a heavyweight, it's a good way to train the movement before you start kind of focusing on putting it onto the belly. Rauno is a trash talker. Rauno, do you do much trash talking? I think Rauno is the best talker without realizing.
About the conversation we were having earlier.
What were we having a conversation about earlier?
Rauno.
I can't remember it. You'll have to remind me. When were we talking about Rauno? On the way home?
Yeah. Hold on.
I can't remember. Liz will be back in a second to jog my memory.
I can't remember the context of it, but I was saying that Rauno is like my favorite person to have an argument with.
Oh, yes.
I love
yes,
it.
Yes.
Absolutely love it.
We were talking about people we don't like arguing with and then people that we do.
Yeah.
And people like that we like to argue with, but then it really doesn't matter about anything.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
And Rauno is that guy.
Yeah, Rauno is.
It's like we don't care. It's just fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Like there's no hard feelings at the end of it. Although sometimes he gets happy, which just makes it funnier. Rauno's hilarious. He's awesome.
Someone says, what's my predictions on the Usyk and Tyson Fury fight? Oh, do you know what? I've not watched much of the build-up for this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I've heard like Tyson hasn't taken it as seriously. I don't know if that's true or not because I've not seen anything. I will watch it because it's next weekend, isn't it?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's next Saturday.
I follow it less than you.
So we'll have to look out for that. But I haven't seen so much of the build-up. So I really can't say. I mean, I'd love to say Fury, but Usyk's awesome. He's such a good boxer. And with Tyson Fury, it depends how serious he's been. I'd love to see him do it.
Another one of our famous friends, Paddy Haynes, in the chat.
You've had a good weekend, mate?
Monica's saying that Rauno is funny, and also Mateusz is quite funny.
Mateusz is very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just it takes a while to get it out of him.
He's got a good sense of humor.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he sends me so many.
So is Rauno.
So many memes, unexplained, just random memes. He is funny. Rauno was the only person at Europe who openly said he was hanging and couldn't be bothered to sign stuff. He's terrible. What competition were we at?
Team comp.
No. When the table collapsed.
Oh. That
was this year. Was it in Vegas?
Yes.
It was in Vegas.
Yeah.
Did he lean on it or something? He was like,
I think I leaned on it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Blame Browner.
Oh, dear. Oh. Why do we see so little variety in competition deadlift events? For example, Max Axel. Max Axel is the only deadlift I am pretty sick of, to be honest.
We haven't seen Max Axel.
Oh no. Axel
for
for reps we see all the time. We don't see Max Axel.
Yeah.
I guess all this hoo-ha about the bloody deadlift world record. Like I would love to see like 18-inch and silver dollar for Max in competitions next year. I think that would be cool. What do you think? We see like ladders sometimes.
I'd like to see maybe a car deadlift, a medley type deadlift. Yeah. A couple of variations, maybe like an 18-inch, something like that.
If Rogue are doing a record breakers and it's before deadlift world championships, what's the betting on Thor going for 505 there? Would explain. No, they won't do it. They won't have a deadlift as the part of their record breakers. They just won't. So under Rogue rules, you don't have suits anywhere.
They would have the elephant bar.
Yeah.
If they did the record, which
would
wouldn't
be
count
considered
as
a different record anyway. Yeah. They won't have a standard deadlift bar, power bar, whatever.
Thor's spoken about going for a deadlift record, wasn't he?
Yeah, I don't know how much he's, because obviously we know, but I don't know how much has been shared publicly. And
we don't know as much as we don't know that much.
I know the date. And that's it.
Has it been officially announced?
No, which is what I can't say.
But has the date been like even?
Browno knows the date. He told me the date. Yeah, the date is set.
Right.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's a deadlift event happening that Thor's involved with, but it's not been announced yet.
It's not. I don't think so. I don't know.
Not many of the top deadlifters are going to be able to go.
No. By the sounds of it, yeah.
Sounds a bit rubbish.
Well, the problem is as well is people just started getting into either they're doing some off-season prep or they're prepping for the Arnolds. It's very, very close to the Arnolds is a big issue, like really close. So
well,
we'll see. Who is Mateusz's coach? Has he had different coaches throughout his career?
Mateusz doesn't really have a coach.
No.
I know JF helps him with his squatting and deadlift.
Yeah.
But just trains himself. I mean, he's done pretty well.
Yeah. Evan trash talking is great. Good part is he takes as much as he gives. Yeah, and you have to be ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
Right, it's been an hour and 10 minutes. I think we should go. Oh, one last thing. We did a community post today because next week we're going to be filming the top 10 strongmen of 2024. And I want to include strongman fans' opinion. So I'm going to be doing a tally. So please go onto the channel, go to where it says community tab, and it's the most recent post. Leave your top 10 there. You can even message me on Instagram if you want. I almost definitely won't reply. But if you don't want to publicly put your top 10, you can send them to me on Instagram because I am doing a tally.
Awesome. Thank you very much, guys. Have an amazing week. I know it's coming up to Christmas. Maybe Auntie Liz will be more Christmassy next week. Who knows?
Can't promise anything.
Anyway, guys, take it
Let's
easy.
hang over.
We'll catch you soon. Bye-bye.
You keep smiling and waving.